All right, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? Rich Quinones here. Thursday edition of Q's Cuts on my YouTube channel, Rich Q on Q, and of course, inside the friendly confines of the AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio studios. Don't forget, 4 o'clock coming up with Back Your Play, 4 to 6, so keep it locked in. NBA trade deadline has come and gone. If you're a Sixers fan, you got to be ecstatic. Finally pulling the trigger, making the move via Condio's Ben Simmons. The Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers, a blockbuster deal. Harden, Millsap go to Philly. Simmons, Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks, 2 first-round draft picks go to Brooklyn. If you're a Sixers fan, you finally say goodbye to Ben Simmons, and if you want to call it a tenure, so be it. It was a failure. After that Game 7 loss where he basically gave up the bunny against the Atlanta Hawks, the big man in B pretty much called him out. Doc Rivers questioned if they can win a championship with him. You just saw and knew the writing was on the wall. And it's funny, for a lot of the clowns out there for so many years saying he's a transcendent player, he's better than the likes of Jason Tatum. Well, guess what? It didn't work out in Philadelphia. And I'll say this, in a wide open Eastern Conference, because it's extremely wide open right now. Milwaukee still has Giannis. We know about Miami. You know, they've got the players. We know that. Chicago, Cleveland, nice story thus far, first half of the NBA season. The window, it's cracked open. The door is cracked open. The Sixers can kick it open in a wide open Eastern Conference if they gave their Batman, the big man, Joel Embiid, who's having a career year, MVP-like season, his Robin, in which they did, enters the beard at one, James Harden. And I'll say this for the GM, Daryl Morey, and I've been critical of him. I thought this was going to be an old-fashioned kind of standoff in the wild, wild west, and now we get the guns blazing with the shootout. Hey, man, he showed you some stones, right? Some onions with this deal. He didn't want to flinch. He got back the value that he felt was needed in return for Ben Simmons. Listen, we know about the title odds right now for the Philadelphia 76ers, 12-1, 7-1. The Nets are still sitting there, 4-1. The Nets are imploding. I mean, if you're Durant, you're thinking, what the hell did I get myself into? That's his mess now with Ben Simmons. And I'll say one last thing as we wrap it up. You know, it reminds me of that line in Dumb and Dumber where Jeff Daniels' character starts screaming at Jim Carrey and finally says, you know, just when I think you can't do anything more dumb, you turn around and totally redeem yourself. That's exactly what the GM did. Why? Because he didn't have to package Thibault. He didn't have to package Maxey, right? So he got the value he wanted to get in return. And it's really going to be interesting how this plays out come March 10th in Philadelphia when the Sixers host Ben Simmons and the Nets. And I have this sneaky suspicion Simmons will probably have a doctor's note that night. Maybe he comes down with the flu. And if anything, the doctors better check his ticker and his heart as well. All right, so that's going to do it for Thursday's edition of Q's Cuts. Keep it locked into AM 1490 Sports Betting Radio at 4 o'clock Eastern Time with Back Your Play right here. And don't forget, subscribe, like, comment on the YouTube channel, Rich Q on Q. Follow me on social media at Rich Q on Q. We'll talk to you at 4.